to Silverton. It's a location that's made famous by the original Mad Max films. I don't think I need this now. I used it to set up. The red light's great because it doesn't attract mosquitoes and flies. Yes, Silverton. I'm going to set up quickly. So this is the location for the original Mad Max with Mel Gibson when he was a very young man, I suppose. Maybe one of his first major acting roles. And we've come to photograph these old ruins. Now I have to move on. There's pretty much no cloud. There's a little tiny bit of wispy stuff here and there, which may catch some colour. So we might have to run like crazy. But in the meantime, let's just set up, and this is the composition I'm going for. There's broken, dirty old mosquitoes. Broken, dirty old car, and this derelict home here next to it. So let's set up and get what we get. Right. First things first. Right. Well, we're set on. Manual from my last shoot, so let's come down a touch, and we can see immediately that this is a beautiful old thing here, and I am considering a bit of a pano because I want to exaggerate its place in the world, which is, you know, in the outback. I'm just going to make sure that our vignette doesn't interfere with our composition in that sky. And I am going to look to put a grad on shortly. At the moment, I don't think it's quite necessary. I'll test it anyway. Put a 0.9. We'll put a 0.9 on just to bring the sky down a bit. There we go, and that should allow us. We don't want F9, of course. F13 should do us. Go away, dirty, horrible mosquitoes. Well, this is looking good. Now, as I said, I was considering a pano, super pano or 16:9, probably a super pano, just like this. And that's really just to show off that outback feel. That one's done, and I'm quite pleased with that. That was my initial get in. There's my composition done, but I am going to move slightly to the right, and I am going to introduce a degree of separation with that car. Just like that. And this time I think I actually want this in the middle. I quite like it being encompassed by that road. So I'm just going to come down a touch. I do like that. So I've come down to 15 seconds, 13. possibly 10, just to make sure. We're not going to blow out anything in that sky. The sun's actually, it's going to raise above you. Slight pink cloud out that way for the tiny little elements that we've got it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to focus stack this, and I'm just, flies and mosquitoes everywhere. I think I might just wait a moment or two. There's a tiny piece of cloud above, and if that does catch pink, may catch pink, we'll be very lucky. But in the meantime, I'm going to I'm just going to focus stack. I don't think I need to on this. Everything's in a similar plane, but I will anyway. Fantastic and beautiful. So let's see if we can capture another image. Now we're not going to run around the back of that. There's another building just off to the right. I'll see if we can try and get that with that belt of Venus in the background. So let's shift. The sun will be up shortly. And I think what we will need to do is probably shoot from the right hand side to catch the very last of that belt of Venus. So let's whiz along. I did try capturing this on the other side of a little ravine here, but just couldn't do it. Again, it's all about that outback dirty red feel, and it's also about placement of the objects within the scene. I'm going to come to the right because again we've got a bit of a stick, a pole that will do us. I'm keeping to this aspect ratio. I may change it up and actually do the 16:9, but for the time being I quite like this. I'm just going to make sure very quickly that, yep, you can see that stick is now to the side of the building. It's exactly where we wanted it. I'm going to just very quickly focus stack. Probably don't need it, but it pays to have it done. So 3 shots. Maybe 4, just because the edge of that building is further away. Beautiful. Listen, I wish we had more in the way of cloud, spectacular colour, but for the last, I suppose, 6 weeks, I've been plagued with blue sky. So even the tiniest amount of cloud is something that I was excited to work with, as best I could anyway. So always be grateful for what you get, I suppose, and do the best you can with what you've got. Yes, so listen, Silverton, it always delivers, even in the worst, photography conditions. It will always deliver. I suppose that's the mantra. You've got to get out to get a shot, and if you get out and get a shot, then even if you're just practicing your skill, then it's valuable. But every now and then you'll probably capture something really special, but you won't know it unless you get there. So you'll notice there's no Raffy. Again, red dust. I didn't want him completely full of red dust. We're in an Airbnb, and he would absolutely trash that if we got back and he was full of all this soil, which he loves digging about in. But secondly, again, I'm just being careful because there are snakes and there are wild ponies here. And although he's a very good dog, I just wouldn't want him to get excited around ponies and get a kick or something like that. So hence I've left him back at home. So thank you for joining me here at Silverton. I always have a blast watching that sun come up. You can see it on my face now. All it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Until next time, see ya.